Hey everyone, welcome to the very first and introductory episode of the Tipaholic channel. If you're a server, bartender, or anyone working hospitality, this is the place where we talk tips, and I'm here to help you make more money without having to work more hours or sell your soul for an extra side of ranch. And yes, this is really happening. I've been talking about starting this podcast for what it feels like forever. I planned it, overplanned it, second guessed it, and then planned it again. And honestly, it took me a while to pull the trigger because talking to a camera is not exactly my comfort zone. But after seeing creators like Gary Vee motivating people to just go for it, and seeing other brave souls post videos with zero lighting or catwalking across the screen, I figured, you know what, why not? And so here I am, stepping out of my comfort zone, talking directly to you because, like they say, the message matters more than the medium. And if I can help even one person make more money or just feel more confident at work, then it's definitely worth it. And maybe, just maybe, you're here because you want more from this industry too. Okay, let me share something that took me way too long to realize, and I've been working hospitality forever. Restaurants, bars, clubs, you name it. And if it has tables, chaos, and someone yelling, I've worked there. And for the longest time, I treated it like a temporary thing, just a pit stop until I figure out what I really wanted to do. Well, it turns out what I really wanted to do was this. Fast forward 20 something years, with a few breaks, a couple of side careers, I kept coming back to hospitality. And truthfully, I love it more than ever. So trust me when I say it's never too late to think bigger. And maybe you're in that spot too. Maybe you're thinking this is temporary, or maybe you're thinking you only will do it until something better comes along. But what if the something better is actually hidden in how you approach the work you already do? One day I was sitting on a couch and it just hit me. Why has no one ever properly trained me on how to actually maximize my income? Like, no one ever really teaches us on how to make more money in this industry, like actual money, not just like, I hope I get good tippers tonight kind of money. Seriously, think about it. When you start a new job as a server or bartender, what kind of training do you really get? You might get a few days of introduction, maybe shadow someone for a couple of days, and then boom, you're thrown into your section with a good luck and the expectation that you'll figure it out. And sure, over time, we do figure some things out. We learn little tricks from coworkers. We pick up on what works and what doesn't. But the problem is, this is not the fastest way to learn. When I started in real estate, the first thing they handed me was a script. Here's how to answer the phone. Here's how to show a house. Here's what to say if people have objections. But in hospitality, it's like, here's your section. Hope you can balance drinks and emotional trauma. And I'm sure you've had those shifts where you walked out thinking, I should have made way more tonight. Like, what happened? Or maybe you've noticed that other servers or bartenders walk away with twice as much in tips, even though they're not necessarily working harder than you. So, what's going on? Well, guys, here's the truth. We are in sales, but unlike traditional salespeople, we don't get training on how to read people or how to build connection or guide a transaction. We don't get scripts, strategies, or any real tools. What we get is a POS system, maybe a decent apron, and we get trained on how to carry four drinks with one hand and not cry in a walk-in. That's pretty much it. Meanwhile, actual salespeople, well, they learn scripts, techniques, they learn strategies to increase their numbers. They just don't show up and hope for the best. They're given real structure and knowledge on how to close deals, how to upsell, or create a great experience for the clients. And in hospitality, most of us are just left to figure it out on our own. And because of that, a ridiculous amount of money is left on the table. Money that should be going into your pocket, like enough to make your car payment kind of money. Okay, let's break it down for a second. How much money are you leaving behind? How often do you hesitate to upsell because you're worried you will come off too pushy? How often you hope that a difficult guest doesn't stiff you? How many of you really understand what makes someone tip more? Or how often do you just hope a guest tips well and leave it up to a fate? Or how many of us are just improvising when we have to cut someone off and praying they don't cry, yell, or both and they don't tip you? These are learnable skills and they make a real difference in how much you walk out with. But no one teaches them to us, mainly because our management wasn't trained on that either. And to be honest, most restaurant training is about operations, about POS systems, how to run food, where to find extra napkins, but not necessarily income generation. Have you ever wondered why two people working the same shift in the same restaurant can walk out with completely different amount in tips? Well, it's not just luck. It comes down to understanding human behavior, body language, and sales psychology. For example, let's say a guest is on the fence about ordering a bottle of wine. So a good server knows exactly what to say to nudge them in that direction. A great server, on the other hand, knows how to present options to make that spending feel more natural. And they know how to use social proof to make a decision feel like the right one, or how to read their guest mood to adjust their own approach accordingly. And it's not just about upselling, it's about creating an experience what makes your guests want to tip more. And some guests are natural over tippers, but most people need a reason to be generous. And when you understand what influences their decision making, you can make it easy for them to leave a bigger tip without even thinking about it. So I started digging. I wanted to understand the why behind it all. Why do some people tip 25% and others leave $5 like it's still 1974? And what kind of body language, phrasing, and guest interactions lead to bigger tips? How can you convince someone who was only planning on ordering an appetizer to go for appetizers, drinks, an entree, desserts, and to leave a great tip, all without feeling like you're selling anything to them? And the more I learned, the more I realized this information is a game changer. And once you understand these principles, you can start making more money almost right away. And this isn't something that takes months to master. Once you apply it, you will see results. And I just want to say something super clearly. You're not just a server. You're not just a bartender. You are a performer, a mind reader, a therapist, a negotiator, and sometimes a magician in a stained apron. And you juggle moods, allergies, chaos, and calorie counts while making it look really easy. And when you know how to read the room and lead the flow, you spend more. They tip more, not because you begged them, but because you made the experience feel so effortless and valuable. So I made something and I've created a full online training that teaches the good stuff, the psychology of tipping and how to use it to your advantage, body language, phrasing, and cues that increase your tips, how to, for example, cut someone off without turning the table into a crime scene, how to upsell without sounding pushy, and how to turn just the entree into apps, drinks, desserts, and a fat check. I put everything I've learned into one place, real practical strategies. But I want to make another thing clear. I'm not here to sell you. I only mention this course right now so that if you're ready, you can grab it right away and start using it automatically. If not, you'll still get value here. Another thing that just crossed my mind is that when I first tried advertising my training to local restaurant owners, I was kind of shocked. Almost nobody wanted to invest in their staff, almost as if I asked them to fund a space mission. So, my dear friends, if you want to grow, you can't wait around for someone else to hand you the tools. You have to take control of your own income, your own training, and your own success. No one's going to care about your paycheck as much as you do. You deal with long hours, difficult guests, emotional exhaustion, and somehow still manage to smile through it. You deserve more than a pat on the back. Imagine walking into every shift with a strategy, not hoping for a good section, not praying for big spenders, just confidence. Confidence is what you say, how you say it, and the way you guide the experience from start to finish. And once you start seeing your role differently, your entire vibe will change. Your guests will feel it. They will trust you more. They will tip you more. And I'm telling you guys, this stuff works. And it's not just for the outgoing, bubbly types either. Even if you're quiet, introverted, or brand new, you can use it also in a way that feels natural to you. Because it's not about changing your personality, it's about amplifying the strengths you already have. When I was putting all the info together, one night from way back crossed my mind. It was definitely the weekend, packed restaurant. I had a table that literally looked like they hated life and probably each other. No eye contact, barely spoke. That kind of vibe that makes you want to drop the check before even taking their order. But instead of mirroring that energy without even realizing it, then I used some of the techniques that now make so much sense to me. I asked different questions. I used humor. I gave them space, but also warmth. And I treated them like humans having a bad day, not just customers being annoying. And I remember that by the end, they were relaxed. They tipped me, I think, over 30% and said it was the best part of their day. And that's when it clicked. This job isn't just about food, it's about energy transfer. It's like emotional intelligence in action. And when you understand that, when you learn how to direct it, you don't just make more money, you feel more in control of your work. In upcoming episodes, I'll be sharing everything I've learned because I genuinely believe that when you get to understand how to work smarter, not harder, you will all win. And some of you might think this kind of content sounds boring, and you might be thinking like, oh, do I really need to learn about upselling or tone or guest psychology? And I get it. But trust me, this isn't just about learning how to sell appetizers or memorize the dessert menu. This is an investment in you, not just your paycheck, but your presence, your personality, and your perspective. It's about rewiring how you see your job, your personality, and your potential. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't just survive another double, but thrives in this industry. Because I think that once your mindset shifts, your whole experience shifts. And even if it feels small at first, this kind of shift can change the whole game for you. It definitely won't hurt you, but it might just help you make more money, feel more confident, and actually enjoy what you do. And that brings me to what this channel is all about. Tipaholic is mainly about one thing: the psychology of tipping, why people tip the way they do, what goes on in their heads when they decide on how much to leave, and how to guide that decision in a way that feels natural and comfortable. Every episode, I will dig into human behavior, stuff like body language, tone, emotional cues, and those little subconscious triggers that make people more generous. It's not about begging or pushing, it's about understanding the psychology that drives generosity and learning how to work with it. I would love for this channel to be your go to place for practical, psychologically backed ways to make more money in this industry, whether it's handling tough guests, boosting regulars, or just adding more fun to your service. It all ties back to how the brain works and how you can use that knowledge to walk out with a heavier wallet. So if you're into that, follow the podcast, share it with your coworkers, send it to your managers, and hey, DM me, message me, comment, let me know your thoughts, experiences. I would love to build a crew of people who love this crazy industry and want to dominate it. We've got personality, we've got grit. Now let's stack some skills on top of it. And also, my challenge to you: start thinking about your job differently. Start treating it like a business, not just a job. Start seeing your interactions with guests as opportunities, not just transactions. And start understanding that how much you make isn't just up to luck or bad tippers, it's up to you. Hospitality might break your back, but it should never break your spirit. So let's stop winging it and start winning it. Let's get to work.